Hey guys, this is Jordan with Team J's Classroom Fun, and welcome back to my YouTube page. Today I'll be continuing my series on math rotations. So be sure to subscribe, follow, like, click the bell so you do not miss any future things. Today I'll be continuing on talking about what I actually do at the math rotations. And today we're going to be focusing on the game and the tech piece, which are two of the rotations. They're a little bit quicker ones to talk about, which is why I put them together. If you missed some of the past videos, I have a video about why I switched to it. I also have a video where I show how I created my math pretests. I should have another video where I show how I use the pretest to then create flexible groups. I have a different video all about what mini lessons I do, the rotation process, and then I broke down the rotation activities. So I do have a video showing you like what are some things I use teacher time for, which is when the kids are coming to me in small group, and then also what are some of the things the kids do during seat work, which is the independent practice part. So today we're going to be talking about two rotations, the last two, which are games and then technology. Let's get started. So games and activity, oftentimes for this, and I know I've said this in every video, I know some of you maybe have a curriculum you have to follow, whether it be you have to follow it closely or you have to loosely follow it or you have to follow it by the book. Oftentimes many curriculum programs will have games you can use. I know I've used investigations before, I've used everyday math before, I've used, what are the other ones, Savas before. A few other ones probably too. All of them have games that you can use. So you could pull in the games that go with your program into this game portion of the rotation. It does not have to be new stuff. It does not have to be stuff you've found places, created, etc. It can be stuff that you have from the curriculum because oftentimes, obviously, it'll focus on the math skill and it's great practice for the kids, and kids love games. On this as well, oftentimes we'll do games practicing whatever the current skill is, again, whether it's found in my curriculum, maybe I made it, maybe it's on TPT. And then also games reviewing prior skills. I'm going to talk about games in a second as well, and then TPT games, as I mentioned. With the games and activity, games specifically, I highly recommend, I'm going to say rotating too many times in this, rotating the games back through. So what this might mean is maybe the first day we do rotations, I teach them the game Double Compare. It's a great card game where they're having to add numbers together, see who has the larger amount, etc. And I teach them this game, and then the next day I teach them another game. And then the next day I'm going to bring back Double Compare. And then throughout the year, I'm going to bring these games back. You do not have to teach them a new game every day. You do not have to create a new game every day. One, we don't have time. Because also, part of your mini lesson, you're going to have to teach them how to play whatever said game is. Two, we don't have time to create new games and find new games for every day. The kids love these games. They're hands-on, they're interactive, they're engaging. It's okay for them to play them again. For example, one of the games I do is Math Fact Jenga. So I have these Jenga blocks that I found. Some I think I got at Dollar Tree, some I got, I don't know, somewhere else. But this is one of the activities. Now, do we do Math Fact Jenga for games every day of the week? No, they'd be bored. But once I show them how to do it, do I throw it in every other week or so? Yes. And I do that with all the games because the nice thing is then is one, they're getting review, but also you're not having to recreate the wheel every time. If they already know how to play it, have them play it again. Again, not every day, but bring it back up as you go. Okay, so here's some curriculum centers, like I said. So I think this is from when we were using Savas at one of those schools I was at. I want to say that's what this one is. So they often have their own games that go along with the curriculum resource. They also sometimes will have center activities that you could use too as part of the rotation. Other places I found games. So I've also found games, obviously on TPT. Sorry. I found games at K-5 math teaching resources and resource books. And I've also just created some of my own. I do have some games in my TPT store, Team J's Classroom Fun. And I know there's tons of games out there. You can even find some just Googling it, things like that. For activities, so in addition to games, I also will tend to throw in an activity to this rotation. For example, when we're doing our graphing unit, one of the things I have the kids do is they do a skills bar graph. So this is actually takes the place of the game that day. So what they do, they take their bag of Skittles, they're going to graph the colors they have, and they're going to answer the questions. So it is still, It's not a worksheet, it's not as much seat work, independent practice, but it's still one, practicing the skill we're doing, but it's in a more engaging, hands-on, interactive way. Same thing here. This is the dream house. I found this from Blair Turner's TPT store. This is one of my favorite activities. One of the schools I was at, we taught area and perimeter. And so for this, the kids would make their dream house and they love doing this. Now, part of making the dream house is not just designing it, but you also have to figure out the area of each room and then the total area of your house. So again, this is a way to kind of make it, one, last a little longer because you're not going to get this done in a day. But two, this gives them a chance to practice multiple skills. They're adding, they're finding the area, they're having to build all these skills and put all these skills together that they've been working on to complete this project or activity. So activities and things like this are great to throw into this part of the rotation. Tech time. So for tech time, one of the schools I was at, we had iPads. Currently, we have are they Chromebooks? I don't know. We have computers that each kid has one of their own. I know some schools, maybe kids have to share. Sometimes maybe you're one-to-one. It depends. For this, there are so many different programs out there. Yes, of course, some of them cost money. Your curriculum program might have their own online resource that you can use. I know some schools I've been at have had that. Some schools I've been at have used IXL. I really do like IXL because you can pinpoint the specific standards and assign those to the kids to work on. MobyMax is something we use at one of the schools. Khan Academy, Extra Math we use for fact practice. I know ABCYA, I'm not sure. They have tons of math games too. And so I often will assign them one that like fits whatever skill we're doing. So there's tons of different ways they can do it. But again, this is just more practice and review and just a different way of doing it. So they have the seat work, they have a game, and they have the tech piece. So they're not on the computer the entire time. It's just a teeny little blip of the rotations. So that is what I have for you today. Next time, I'm going to wrap it up with a little bit of planning piece and some planning tips. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below, or you can find me over on Instagram at teamjclassroomfun. Be sure to stop back for the next video. Make sure you subscribe, like, and follow, and click that bell. And I will talk to you next time. Talk to you later.